Well, today, guys, we have an info pack Stadia video as the big games just keep showing up, and that's a great thing. We have an update on Far Cry 6, Riders Republic, and Rainbow Six Quarantine potential date, and it might be pretty soon. We also have leaks on the Division Heartland gameplay, as well as what type of game it's going to be, and evidence that does show that I think it's coming to Stadia. Very strong evidence. Also, Stadia announced 2 new games, and more games got rated. All that in this video. Please hit that red subscribe button to always be up to date with Stadia news and Stadia related content. So according to GameSpot, during that investors earning call last week, the publisher did reaffirm that both Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine are still releasing by September 30th, 2021, which, guys, isn't too far away. Now, I'm also somewhat assuming Riders Republic is still coming before that date as well, as it was written in the report. Now, obviously, this is pretty big news, all things considering, just because Stadia is also set to get Rainbow Six Siege and For Honor sometime by next month in June. Then you add the fact that these other 3 big AAA titles are set to come here in the months ahead, and this is really shaping up to be a summer full of Ubisoft AAA games, which is an awesome thing. Now, that Ubisoft Forward event is going to be streaming on June 12th as part of E3 2021, and guys, it's going to be pretty big in regards to showcasing big titles coming to Stadia, and it should be revealing a lot more information about these 3 games, including that newly announced Division Heartland game, a game that I'm going to talk about here in a second. But before I get to that, this was actually brought to my attention recently, so bear with me. There was a recent leak in the Microsoft store that was titled Incursion VMC. Keen observers realized that VMC is a company that Ubisoft runs their playtest through. Well, this leak showed the game having 2 to 102 players online. So I think this could be a new Battle Royale from Ubisoft. Now, the word incursions has been tied to Ubisoft games, as the Division's endgame missions were called incursions, but some Redditors were actually guessing that this is potentially the new Rainbow Six Quarantine or Parasite, whichever they decide to call it. Obviously, this could be a stretch, but it does seem for sure that this is a Ubisoft title that was leaked, and Stadia recently has gotten pretty much all the new Ubisoft games. So guys, what I'm doing is I'm putting 2 and 2 together. But either way, we're about to find out here in less than a month, and it should be interesting to see, as we are missing gameplay footage from a few games from Ubisoft. All those titles that I just talked about earlier, we have not seen what they look like, but also seeing a new Battle Royale coming to Stadia, guys, that would be pretty huge, especially interesting considering that Hyperscape does exist. But speaking of actual gameplay, ironically, we haven't seen Far Cry 6 or Riders Republic or Quarantine gameplay, but Division Heartland, a game not even slated to come this year, did get leaked. I won't be showing you guys any footage or screenshots, so I apologize. A simple Google search can get that done for you, as I don't want to get in trouble, as they have been taking those down really fast. But I do want to point this out. This game is showing up on the Ubisoft website with Stadia listed under it, despite the fact that it has not been officially announced for Stadia. With that, I'm truly believing that this will be coming. It's going to be a free-to-play title, and it's going to be a pretty big one. And seeing it on Ubisoft's own website does give me that confidence. So what's this game going to actually be about? Well, looking at the gameplay, and most agree from what I'm seeing online, it literally looks like the Division 2. Almost nothing stood out from this leaked gameplay, but it will be featuring 2 modes. One traditional one called Expedition. Essentially here, you're just grinding for loot in a small town called Silver Creek. I'm assuming it's just full-on PvE. Then there's going to be another one called Storm, and this is a PvE PvP mode with 45 players where you're going to be scavenging, looting, surviving, and fighting other players while avoiding a virus contamination. This to me sounds really interesting. Again, it's going to be free to play. That is key. The gameplay that got leaked, though, did not have that storm mode. It was just someone running around, so it wasn't that interesting. It literally, the game just looked like Division 2 set in a completely new place. So overall, after hearing these modes, I'm a lot more excited for this one. I do also want to point this out. Division 2 on Stadia is one of the better ports that Stadia has seen, even though it's been about a year now since it came out. I do want to point that out. Either way, hopefully we get to hear more information about this next month. My guess is we will, since this has now been fully leaked, and I'm curious to hear what are your guys' thoughts on this down below. With that, guys, we're going to rapid fire the rest of the Stadia news. We have 2 games that were announced officially by Stadia in Super Animal Royale, the top-down free-to-play Battle Royale. Absolutely looking forward to that one. Then we have Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Both of these games are set to come soon. More titles is always a good thing. With that, 2 more games have been rated for Stadia. We have Blaze and the Monster Machines Axle City Racers. I couldn't find any footage, but this is a kid game. Then we have Gigantosaurus the game. Both of these are from Outright Games, a publisher I have worked very closely with for the past few years. They essentially make all kid games. So Stadia is really making a big push for those parents, getting their kids some games, some kid-friendly titles. And I think Outright is working on about at least half a dozen titles for the platform. So good stuff all around. With that, guys, let me know your thoughts today on the Stadia news and all these Ubisoft games. Are you guys excited as I am as I'm getting ready for all these summer titles? Stadia is really shaping up to have a pretty great rest of the year. I'm personally pumped. I always read all your comments, so write down below, like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.